What's up, Falcon Nation? Voice of the Friends University Falcons, Pat Strathman, joined by head football coach at Friends University, Terry Harrison. Welcome into Episode 7 of the Friends University Coaches Show. Friends at home this week at Adair Austin Stadium. The Falcons getting set to take on the Sterling College Warriors. 1 o'clock kick. It's homecoming. Exciting times, to say the least. And we'll talk about that game. We'll recap the previous game against McPherson. A close loss there for the Falcons. But before we dive into that, let me tell you about where we are located once again. We are here at Chicken and Max, 3 locations in Wichita. We are at the West and Maple location, 325 Southwest Street here in Wichita. Chicken Max, locally owned and hatched right here in Wichita. Known for their legendary sandwiches, taking the chicken sandwich to the max. Their smoked chicken is smoked in almond wood every day, several times a day in each location, giving it a fresh, unique flavor. Savory sides like mac and cheese, mashed potatoes and gravy, potato salad, coleslaw. Coach Harrison had some of that before the show. And more. Club salads and power bowls with their smoked chicken for a healthy choice. Several sauces unique to Chicken Max. 3 locations in Wichita, but you can come out here every Thursday at 5:30. That's when we record these Friends University Coaches shows. Well, Coach, I lost to McPherson 31-22. When you look at that, you go, oh, man, like that was such a heartbreaking loss, and it certainly was. But you dug out a 15-0 hole. Got to love the way that your team was able to fight. You eventually took the lead, led 22-21. At that stage in the game, in the third quarter, it's like, all right, well, what's going to happen here going forward? McPherson able to get a last-second field goal. Less than a minute left in that situation, kind of tough to really go down the field. And then there was a pick six, and once again, one of those things where it just changes the final score, but not exactly the end result. Kind of felt like a 24-22 loss rather than a 31-22 loss, but nonetheless, your team fought once again in a road environment up there at McPherson College. Your thoughts on the latest game?
Yeah, like you mentioned, just super proud of the guys. You know, it's been so interesting. I think when I emailed the parents this week, you know, we do that once a week, is one of the most frustrating and encouraging games I've ever been a part of, right? So frustrating in a sense, you know, you lose late on a field goal. You know, we had a really rough first and fourth quarter, but, man, that second and third quarter, just the encouraging parts of that. I felt like our kids have done such an amazing job of just fixing our flaws, right? Fundamental flaws. And so you see that show up on film. I think we regained being the number 1 rushing team in the country, where we should be this week. So we, you know, did such an amazing job there. Defensively, it felt like some of the adjustments we made on that bye week have been paying off, and we've been getting stops and forcing punts, right? So that encouraging part. And then, you know, you have the frustrating, like, special teams early. And it's just some situational things. So it's, you know, it's one of those deals, right? When you're building a program and you're where we're at year one, it hurts, it's frustrating, but, man, it's also encouraging, and we know that, man, what type of kids we have and how tough they are, because we followed that back up with, you know, it's Thursday now, and by far and away, you know, this is not, I'm not just being a coach telling you this, legitimately our best couple of practices that we've had these last couple of days. And so, man, you're seeing that stuff pay off, and so it makes you excited for the kids. While it doesn't take away the sting of a tough loss and all that good stuff, you know, it hurts. Man, it does, man. It just, you can see where this thing's going, and you can see that, you know, if you're going to catch the Falcons, you better catch us right now. And we've been on the short side of a couple of games, but we certainly know where we're headed, and, you know, we'll learn from that. Man, the staff, man, we did a great job this week with special teams and shoring up. You know, special teams, giving up a special teams touchdown, it's embarrassing. I mean,
right off the bat too, right?
Yeah, and it's just like, what a deflating deal we had, you know. It's just so frustrating, right? And so the cool part is we did overcome that, but you just can't do that, you know. And then when you look at, you know, coupled with McPherson's been, you know, Bethel, who's undefeated right now, McPherson was within 2 points of beating them.
Yep.
McPherson's only lost 3 games by 4 total points or something like that.
Yeah.
So think about this margin and this gap we're trying to make up as a program. So last year, if you're at Friends University, it feels like this mountain you're trying to climb. And then now when you can look at, if you can have a little perspective, it's like, man, that is very attainable, right? And so, you know, losing is not fun. No one likes to lose. It's why we keep scoring. That's why we practice all the time. We want to win. But if you can take the 30-foot view, like the zoom out of this thing, right where we want to be right now. Certainly wish we'd had 3 or 4 more wins or whatever that could be, but we do know where we're headed, and we had a great week of practice. So all of that's a long way around that question, right? But, man,
it's supposed to be a long answer. Yeah. When I lob you a softball, you're supposed to knock it out of the park. It's what you're supposed to do.
Exactly. Well, and then you couple that with, I mean, if it says anything, think about. I know we talked a little bit before. current team's done an awesome job of, improving daily and becoming a team and learning to work together with brand new coaches, all those things that, we always talk about, man. And then the recruiting trail's been awesome. Kids are, we have kids joining our program left and right, the right kids or the right families, and they're doing that because of our players and how our kids treat them when they're on campus. So when you couple all that stuff together, man, the big tough Falcons are coming, and that's encouraging for me and makes is really exciting to come to work every day. So
yeah,
that's where we're at right now.
Well, I think I want to go back to the toughness aspect. You've been down before here this season. You've been up before, obviously, but you've also been down here this season to a couple different teams. And every time I think it's happened, you at least had the ability to show a little bit of fight. I think last year, if you look at Friends, I think when they were down, they were down. Mm-hmm. This year, some of the same guys from last season's team, it's completely different. Why is that? Is it just simply these guys truly are bonding and they come together and they say, hey, look, just because we're down by 15 doesn't mean that we are truly down. Let's fight back this time. What's been the difference in terms of that mentality, I guess, with you taking over and talking to some of those guys?
Well, you hope it's one of our disciplines of our program is recruit and retain both and players, and that means, both, talented kids and kind on campus, both talented students, talented athletes, right? And, not just one or the other. And so, what I hope the reason for that is we retained the best players from the previous, from the team that when we got here, and the kids that truly are, loyal and grateful for Friends University. And you can't be tough at the end of a game. You can't be gritty if you don't have gratefulness, right? And so those kids that have come back, that retained from the previous staff, those kids are grateful, tough kids, right? And they want this to be a special place, an elite place to play college football, right? And so those kids stayed, and then we recruited to that end. And I think you're just starting to see that. If it's one of those deals, right? We've had those, a couple of close losses, rough losses, however you want to term them. Mm-hmm. But our kids are awesome, and that's what's crazy. I don't know if crazy is a word, but when you're whatever we are, 2-4, 2-5. I don't even know how many games we played.
2-4.
2-4. Yeah. See, there you go. You're 2-4, and it just does not. That is not who we are. We're not defined by that. We have a bunch of winners. We just do. We have champions on our team, and we have winners on our team. And when you recruit and retain enough of those, eventually those big things come from these little things we're doing right now. So that's I think that's why our kids, they rally together when it gets hard. Our coaches rally together when it gets hard. We are truly in this thing together. And, I've been a part of this before, and I've done this before, and everything is trending where you want to trend as a coach, right? You want wins for families. You want wins for all those things. But you want to have a program that when you do win and you reach that championship level, that we're all grateful for it. And it's not something that was a miserable experience. And I think that certainly is the feel right now, and the team we have right now. And more than what you're seeing on Saturday, because you can absolutely see, just look at statistics, right? I mean, You can bend stats however you want, but if you look at statistically, we are getting better every single game, and there's without argument, we are. That coupled with what it feels like every day, which is not a statistic. I mean, we are, just awesome kids from great families, clearly. That are doing special things right now. So it's energizing. That's the encouraging part, right? The frustrating part is when you lose a game, you should win. Without a doubt. The encouraging part is all the stuff we're talking about right now.
Well, you want to bring up the stats. You outgained McPherson in the last game. You were 7-13 on third downs, which was a big improvement over the last couple of games. So you guys were able to execute on the money downs. The turnovers are the ones that came back and bought you. I can't talk. They bit you. Yep. How about that? Yep. Let's use the correct verbiage there. They bit you, which that's not great. There's no doubt the turnovers are the ones that are going to come back and bite you. But I think if you just look at the third down percentage and the yardage, I think those two things right there is an indication of where this thing's going.
Yeah, just awesome focus at practice, and that was a big deal, right? Our third down on defense and offense that needed to be improved, and all you can do as a coach, and we're part of this organization that's 130 plus people, right? Is you have to embrace that as a coach, right, and point those things out, and then give an opportunity for kids to correct that. And that's what we've done. Our kids have they have focused on those things, like third down, for instance, on offense and defense, and we corrected that. And then it's you're always steering the course and steering the ship. And unfortunately, we had some special teams flaws and some turnover things. So that's what we do this week. And then what happens is if you build that over time, you become a program that is excellent on special teams, right, when you learn a hard lesson. Because I'll tell you right now, our kickoff coverage week was the best week I've ever been a part of as a coach, and I've been doing this a long time, because it hurt. it would hurt. And so sometimes, unfortunately, the best lessons to learn are the really hard ones that you don't forget. And that was, we'll never make that mistake again on kickoff as far as not being prepared. Not necessarily, you can't guarantee anything, but I know our kids were really focused on that. So that and the third down thing. So yeah, we're awesome kids like you talked about, and they did a good job of fixing some of our flaws, and now we're at it again, and just couldn't be more proud of the guys.
Well, you almost had 2 100-yard rushers. You've had Zach Dressler, who ended up with 184 yards and a touchdown, which Zach just continues to be a workhorse through 6 games. He, by far, has the most carries on the team, and knock on wood, sorry, Zach, if I cursed you here, but only 1 fumble so far, taking care of the ball first and foremost.
Yeah.
But the other thing is he's able to rattle off some big runs. He had a 50-plus yarder in the game against McPherson, but he led the team with 184. And then he had Quentin Owens in the game, too, with 82 yards on 12 carries, able to kind of bring him in there, too. You almost had 2 100-yard rushers, which that's always the goal, right? I know everyone wants to talk about spreading the love. Well, when you're spreading the love as a quarterback in a shotgun system, spread, throwing the football, yeah, you want to get a couple of 100-yard receivers. When it comes to the flex bone, it's always about what can we do about getting these guys, multiple guys 100 yards, and he almost had that on Saturday against McPherson.
Yeah, well, that's one of our offensive line goals every week is 100 yards for the B-back. So we've been able to do that. When if you can get 2 for the 2 100-yard rushers to B-back, you're gonna win every one of those every time. And so, yeah, man, awesome that Zach's done a good job, like you mentioned, and he's clearly been our workhorse. I think what's been really cool is, that's not a secret by any means, and I think it shows you how well our offensive line is playing right now, how much they've improved, because that's the reality is that's who we're going to establish, and we've always been that. And so that's been cool to see the offensive line there. And then when Q played in this offense in high school at San Antonio at Wagner High School down there, and they've won state championships. He's ran this offense in Cowboy Stadium, so he knows what it takes. And so that to have him come out, and he's had a couple good games, and he's kind of been in and out of the lineup, right?
Sure.
But when he's in there, we say it's kind of been undeniable and made a lot of plays, and so that's been super cool. And he's both kids have been awesome and fun to watch, and they've kind of good 1-2 punch right now.
Yeah, for sure. Flipping over to the defensive side, pick 6, Braden Gordon. We got to talk about that. Completely changing the game, right? You're down, all of a sudden now you're up because your defensive back was able to jump in front and get a pick and return it all the way for a touchdown. That's always a good feeling, right? You talk about the blow of giving up a special teams touchdown. You want to talk about the excitement of a defensive touchdown? Come on.
Well, yeah, for me, that was like full circle. For me, I recruited Braden Gordon for like 3 years. He's like, he's one of my guys that took me forever to get that kid to finally come and play as a part of our program here. And so that was it. Watching that happen was really special for me because he's I've just known him for so long, And so anyway, that was really, really cool. And, it really felt like, man, that was a big momentum swing. And it felt like, okay, here we go. We're about to, it's a credit to McPherson. They came back and played from that. But it was, that really felt like our defense, that second half, man, they were striking and tackling. You could hear it. You could almost feel it. So it was that right brand of defensive football that we want to play and want to be known for. And so to get a pick 6 was awesome, and he did a great job of that. We really needed it to be, needed that right there. And so, yeah, that was awesome and good for him. He's been such a great, more than a good player, he's been a team guy, man. He's just been awesome and just a steady, awesome kid, older veteran guy on a very young team that the kids can look to as far as how he's handled some tough losses, how he's handled a little bit of adversity. That's how kids learn better than me telling you to act a certain way. So, hey, look at that guy. This guy who's played college football for so long. He's had a long career and been all over the place. He played at Humboldt State in California when that program shut down. Went back to Bakersfield, California, and played at the community college there, which is how I got to know him, and then to land here. So he's been at multiple programs, through multiple things. And you talk about a kid with a grateful heart, who's a great student, who's an excellent leader as far as how to handle business every day. That couldn't happen to a better kid.
Well, defensively, you want to throw in this little nugget, too. You and I talked about how good the McPherson running back is, Jonathan White. Look at his final numbers. I'm thinking, man, could you do a better job on Jonathan White? That's one of the tougher tailbacks in the league.
Well, no one has. That's the crazy part. No one's done a better job than our defense against that young man out there who's very, very talented. And, he had our defense did a good job because he had his film leading up to this game is very impressive, and he's very, very talented. And we knew that, from coaching against him previously or seeing him on film previously. So, man, I thought our defense did a great job of corralling him in and not letting him be the guy to beat us. And, defense played. I mean, they played really well, and they scored defensive touchdown. So those are games. It's the frustrating part, what we talked about, the encouraging part and the frustrating part, right? And so rehashing that's hard, but defense did awesome for sure.
Well, Coach, you're 6 games in, 2-4 record. We can break down games left and right. We can do that easily, but you're 6 games in. You're at the midway point of the season. This is kind of when things kind of go downhill a little bit. Is there anything in particular about the second half of the season that you're excited for? I think we talked about it a little bit, but is there anything different in terms of the mentality of the second half of the season compared to the first half of the season to you as a head coach or as players, I guess?
No, no. I mean, I think the way we operate, or at least I hope so, our practices are what they are. We prepare for everything every day, and our kids do show up and do a great job of embracing that. So no, our only focus is the finish, right? Because the reality is there's going to come a day here where we're trying to close out a playoff run or a championship run or whatever that looks like, right? And so the challenge is, hey, this is there's no reason to wait for that. There's no reason to wait to string together a championship run of practices, and so that's the challenge. And I will tell you that, again, this is. I work the offensive line every day, and I can tell you without a doubt they have not had a better week of practice. And so selfishly for me, what I hope for is one of these teams is going to catch us at our full potential. And so my hope is that this Saturday that the way we practice and what we see every day, it pays off in the form of really erupting on offense for the offensive line, right? And I think that's what we focus on, But as far as finishing our focus outside of that, it's just teaching kids how to finish a season because it is long.
Yeah.
If you're going to play for a national championship, you're almost halfway done right now. Or maybe right at halfway, right? It's 14 games, so it can feel like a long season when you're sitting at 2-4. But if you want to reach the goals that we want to reach, you're only halfway there. So, toughen up and let's go. That's kind of where we're at.
Toughen up and let's go. All right, nice and simple. Homecoming week. As a coach, like it?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I shouldn't ask that question, like it, because I'm sure you do. But it's more so just the ambiance, like everything around homecoming week, I guess. Is that something that is something that you look forward to?
Yeah, I mean, it's my first one at Friends, right? So that's kind of cool, and I'll learn a little bit as we go. I know I'm going to the Hall of Fame banquet tomorrow. I've always loved Hall of Fame banquets, and I'm interested to see the Friends University one because – man, when you're in the middle of this thing as a player and a coach and if it's your son or whoever's playing here at Friends, you can lose sight of, man, how this impacts your life in 30 and 40 and 50 years. And so what I'm looking forward to for this week is that Hall of Fame banquet because everyone who gets entered in the Hall of Fame, whatever sport it is, they get a chance to talk about. And the really cool part is when you go enough of those, and I've made it a point where everywhere I've been, I go every year, just to listen to those Hall of Fame inductees speak. Because they never, while clearly they would have had storied careers, they never talk about that. They really do talk about, they tell the funny stories in the dorms, they tell the trips they went on, or they tell some silly practice story. But it's never about simply winning, right? While we want to win championships, that's our goal. That's why we all practice and coach so hard. It is about more than that. So that's what I'm excited for is to go hear that tomorrow because I know I'll be re-energized by these Hall of Fame caliber athletes who talk about, their experience. And, outside of that, it's just fun. There'll be people there, and I know there's some local high school teams that are coming to watch. They're going to have their jerseys on, and our tailgate atmosphere has been awesome.
Every time I go to Adair Austin Stadium, there's always, hey, do you want something to eat? I'm like, I got to go up here, but I appreciate the offer, though. I mean, that's great. It's terrific.
Yeah, and so that's kind of what's cool, right? We're going to have about 20 or 30 recruits here, and they're going to get to watch the game. And so, for me, when you have a vision of a program and where it's headed, that's what's really cool because you can see, like, man, that's where we're at today, and you can just see this just growing and growing and building and building. And so, no, homecoming, it's cool for me because it's not about football necessarily. It's about Friends University, which I'm very grateful for, and I think is a special place. So for me, it's that Hall of Fame banquet. That's what it's all about, man. I just think that when you can hear those people speak, it does give you perspective on really why we do this and what it's really about.
Well, this Saturday at 1 o'clock, you take on Sterling College, and Sterling, coming off its first win, 1-4 on the season, are the Warriors. They're coming off a double overtime win, 40-34 over Bethany. And that's one of those things, right? Not only do they get a win, but they get it in thrilling fashion, which now all of a sudden their confidence is just through the roof. So you're taking on a confident bunch, I would imagine, on Saturday.
Yeah, exactly right. You come off a big win like that, man, you sure think that's got to lead to a great week of practice. And so, I'm an old Sterling College Warrior. I don't know if you know.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah, and so Coach Kemp is also a Sterling College Warrior. And so, we've got ties.
Which one of the Lamberts did you coach by, right?
I was an Andy guy. I was the first year, But, But that's kind of cool for me. It's been cool to play him. It's just a game, but we went to school there and we were part of that program. So that's there's a little special place in your heart for that. Outside, I guess I'm connected to all the programs now, right? I've coached against them all so long and coached at Bethel and now. So anyway, but I played at Sterling. My wife is an All-American basketball player there, so she will probably be in the Hall of Fame one day. I never will. So I have zero chance of ever being in any Hall of Fame. But one day my wife will get in, and that'll be cool. But no, Sterling. Yeah, they've historically been just we call them the pesky warriors.
Yeah.
It's an endearing term. Like it is a term of endearment because they've always been that team. Like they've had a lot of success against Kansas Wesleyan over the last 5-10 years, and so it's always so it's one of those teams that have always been around and always been just a tough team to beat. And so we know that will be no different this week. They'll play extremely hard. New coaching staff, which would be cool for me. I don't know anything about them. I'm even having trouble thinking about his name right now, but new staff. So that'll be cool for us. I think to this point, everybody we've played against, we've coached against now for a while. And so, it'll be, we'll have to play really well. And all I can tell you is, like I mentioned before, our kids have prepared very, very well. And so it'll be fun to watch our guys play them.
Can't wait. Should be a lot of fun, Coach. Thank you so much for your time. Best of luck to you on Saturday.
Thank you.
All right, Terry Harrison, head football coach at Friends University, here on the Friends University Coaches Show from Chickamauga here in Wichita. Friends Sterling, 1 o'clock kick from Adair Austin Stadium this Saturday. Come on out. It's homecoming week. Come enjoy some football this weekend. It should be fantastic weather. Friends coming off that loss to McPherson, 31-22. 2-4 is now the record for the Falcons. Well, we'll take a step aside. We still have more to get to. We have two individuals that are on the schedule here for tonight's Coaches Show. We'll be joined by Noah Redcorn, a sophomore offensive lineman from Capon. Yes, that Capon here in Wichita. And we'll be joined by Braden Gordon, a junior defensive back from Bakersfield Community College. Don't go anywhere. More of the Friends University Coaches Show coming your way next here from Chickamauga. Welcome back to the Friends University Coaches Show from Chickamauga here in Wichita. 3 locations here in Wichita. Pleased to be joined by 2 football players at Friends University. Braden Gordon here to my left, junior defensive back, transfer from Bakersfield Community College. To my right, a guy that some Wichita people might recognize from Capon, a sophomore offensive lineman, Noah Redcorn. Fellas, thank you so much for being here today. How are things going? Let's start with you. How are things going, man?
Great. We just got off practice. I feel good.
That's good.
Especially about this game. We've been building the last weeks especially. I definitely feel better as the season goes, so
good.
I'm feeling really good right now, too.
Oh, how about Braden? See, Braden's got extra pressure because he's got family in the house. He's got mom watching. But, see, you both got pressure because you got the entire offensive line unit here in this house, too.
Yeah.
So there's pressure on both sides.
No, but I'm doing good. Thank you for having me today.
Okay, good. Absolutely. It's my pleasure. Well, last game, tough loss, losing to McPherson 31-22, and there's that sun coming into your face there. Sorry, Noah. We'll do the best that we can. We're doing the best we can to try to block out the sun, but so on and so forth. There's only so much you can do. We have all these offensive linemen here in this building. There's only so much you can do about the sun, so it is what it is. But 31-22 loss to McPherson. You guys were down 15-0. You would come back and take the lead 22-21. And at the end of the day, late field goal, 45 seconds left. It's always a tough situation to be in. They end up getting the win 31-22, but tough battle. Noah, let's get your thoughts on the last game against the McPherson College Bulldogs.
Yeah, it's a frustration that we can only build on because we know we did dominate physically, especially on the offensive spot. I can speak for the O-line. I mean, you could feel it. We were moving people up and down the field. We would run where we want to run, but I mean, if you can come up short and play your best, and I don't think we played our best. I think we could still do better. So all we can do is build on it and learn from it. But
Braden, your overall thoughts with the game? Don't worry, we'll talk about that play and give it a moment.
No, it was a heartbreaker for sure because we were just right there. Like Noah said, we did it. We played well, but there's always room for improvement. So. We've had a good week of practice, and I think we're going to come in strong this week versus Sterling. So, I'm ready for it Saturday.
I am too. I'm looking forward to it. Homecoming is always a treat, so I'm very much looking forward to that. Being back at Adair Austin Stadium is just going to be a great treat. All right, Braden, now we can talk about that play. That's why I just had to ask about the overall thoughts, because we all know what he's going to say. Yeah, it was a great game. I got a pick six, man. Of course it was a great game. How about that pick six? What was going through your brain, I guess? Just reading the route and jumping in front?
My receiver, he ran a slant, so that they're doing that concept a few times in the game, so I knew they were going to come back because they scored off of it before. So my guy ran a slant. I seen the running back come out. We had pressure from one of our linebackers, so he got in his quarterback's face and he just threw it. And I seen the ball coming. It was like a little wobbly and stuff. I was like, oh, I need this one, and caught the ball, and it was just green grass right in front of me.
The only thing he was thinking about was, please don't drop this, please don't drop this, please don't drop this. Because there's got to be no worse feeling in the world as a DB dropping a pick six.
Yeah, that would have hurt. That would have hurt my heart.
But it didn't happen.
Yeah.
You got the pick six, and then you were, after that score, you guys are on top. So came at a really, really big point of the game.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, I didn't really notice. Like, it was just another play, just keep playing. Then it was like, okay, we're up by one. I didn't really notice that, but the pick felt good. It was my first one since my junior year in high school, so it's been a while.
Whoa!
I asked him on the sideline.
It's been a while, so
first one since junior year in high school.
Yeah,
man.
So it was a good feeling.
That's incredible.
It
goes
more.
for a pick six. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, of course. Typical DB over here. I want more.
Yeah, it was my first in college. Went for 6.
It's pretty good. Well, hopefully the next one will go for 6 as well. We'll see if we can make it a little bit longer, maybe like a 60-yard pick six or something. Try to do like a 99-yarder, that type of thing. Cool. We'll see what happens later on. Noah, I know offensively, Coach Harris and I were talking about this. I know the turnovers, that part's not great, but you outgained McPherson. He feels like this offensive line unit is getting stronger as the season goes along. So what did you see from this past game? You kind of talked about it, but I guess the improvement the offensive line has made so far.
I mean, the biggest thing is that, we recognize our flaws. It's not, you don't go into film the next day after a tough loss and you say, oh, let's look at everything great, and you don't do that after a big win either. I mean, that's just not how you get better as a real team, as a real strong unit. And together, I think we realized our flaws from last week. We talked about pad level, we talked about first steps and everything, and we built on it that practice week, and we fixed our flaws. You can feel a difference when you play your type of football the right way. And I think that we were really, we moved together as a unit. You can see our steps are in order. We're all stepping into the same place at the right time. It's tough to make a play happen when you got 4 guys do everything right and one guy who just misses a block or misses an assignment. And it's not like we didn't have that, but, overall you can just see this much bigger, unit coming together and being much stronger together.
See, I'm a former O-lineman, so the fact that he's talking about steps is just music. Music to my ears, because it's so important. I don't think people understand it. People just go, you're a big bruiser. You just go out and just block people. That's all you do, right? Not even close.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, if it was as easy as that, sure. But there's so many different schemes, and everyone's different. Some like zone, some like typical B block, A block, that type of stuff. You're going to do a C chip, whatever. There's a lot of different things you can do with it. But the footwork is just so important. And I feel like in the flex bone, as much as everyone just wants to say, it's just another offense, it's very important to have your timing down.
Yeah, no, it's definitely the most key thing whenever you're just learning. I mean, even in the spring when we went over it with Coach Harrison, he was just talking about it. Our steps have to be perfect every time. And, I mean, the plays relies on it every time. Our steps are 6-inch up and over, second step on a toe, or 6-inch up and over, next one over. It's just so important. It's you can't underrate it. You just can't. Otherwise, you just won't be able to play effectively in this offense as an O-lineman. It's so important.
Sure, absolutely. What's it been like being a part of this defensive unit? I feel like the defensive unit has done a great job of improving throughout the season as well. And that's the thing, when you have so many new faces, and there were only 4 guys back from last season that were starters, so you're basically starting from scratch. And when that happens, it takes a little time to gel, but now it seems like everyone is gelling. And when you have so many guys rotating in to keep fresh, that also is a part of the process of how challenging it could be.
The defense, I love the defense. When I first came in the spring, it was something totally different. The eat the captain defense. So we do that, and then we do another defense just to keep it in our back pocket. But you know, just being around the guys and just getting a tight-knit group, and our chemistry is building in every game, and we're just taking steps, you know, room for improvement, like I said before. But, you know, I like going to war with those guys every Saturday because I know they got my back and I got theirs. So, you know, it's been a good season so far, just learning, you know, in this rebuilding process. And it's just we got to trust the process because, you know, when everybody just comes in and just trusts it, you know, big things are ahead for us.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing I wanted to add to it, too, and get your thoughts as well, Noah. I think last season, it's not like you were part of the team last year at Friends University, but a one-win season last year.
Yeah.
Here for this year, 2-4 record. I think a lot of people look at that and be like, oh, is that really progress? Well, it is, I think, when you see a team get in a hole and still find a way to fight back. I don't think there's any giving up by this team. I feel like that's the one thing I noticed the most about this team compared to maybe previous Friends teams before.
No, yeah, for sure. Like, you know, we were down 7 right in the beginning of the game, and, you know, coming on the field as a defense for our first drive, you know, you just don't want to get scored on. So we just kept our heads straight and just played our game, and, you know, we played pretty good. So,
Noah, your thoughts?
I mean, when you talk about last year too, it's just it's so much different than last year. You can just feel it. People know. I think we have a much clearer purpose. I mean, a much clearer purpose with this coaching staff, this group of you know, men that we brought together that all agree with each other that we want to change something for the better. And I mean, it's so much better overall. You know, it's a more positive, you know, environment too. I was on the team last year, and it was just, you know, it's no fun whenever kids are just trying to make themselves look good. I mean, it's just, that's not a team. It really isn't. You can call it a team, but I mean, and looking at the game stats, yes, I mean 2-4 right now, but look at the rushing yards we had last week.
Yeah.
It was 300 something like that.
Yeah, 382 in total yards.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, I don't count that as a crazy win or anything, but we're building. And I mean, we're building something that's definitely going to be good for the future. I mean, the near future too.
Well, Coach Harrison brought up how the goal is as an offensive line to get a beat back 100 yards every game.
Yeah.
You almost had 2 last game.
Yeah, we're getting there.
And
I mean,
you had Zach with a $187, I think, and I think Q was 12 carries for 82 yards.
Yep.
So,
yep, those kids. I mean, both those guys love to run the ball. Zach is the kind of kid who's like, Zach, go run into this hole. I know there's a 300-pound man
He's going to run into you.
Yeah.
I don't feel like Zach's going to care. He's like, if it's either you or him, I don't care. I'm running this way.
Zach said, I was told to run this way, and I'm running that way. And that's what I love about Zach, because he'll just go downfield. And I mean, he just gets the yards that he needs every time. I love it.
Absolutely. Well, I think this is where I asked the question, well, why'd you come to Friends University? I'm sure for you it's very easy. You're home.
I'm home. I just wanted to play football somewhere, continue on. I mean, my family, I have a great support system at home, you know, with 7 siblings at home, and they all
which, by the way, I can relate to that, being the youngest of 7. So,
I mean, and one on the way, they, you know, I know as the oldest I have a leadership position in the family. I mean, that's a blessing too. And, you know, I think a lot of our family, you know, we rely on sports and stuff to give us a purpose, you know, something bigger, something to look forward to instead of just sitting at home and playing in video games. I mean, we never grew up on that, and I got to play here. You know, it was such a big opportunity, especially when I was a freshman. I got to get on the field. It was just, it was really life-changing. It really was. I mean, I got to see so many people from my life, not just my immediate family, but my extended family would come and watch games, and they're so happy just to come to such a great school and a great, you know, especially with this coaching staff, changing the culture, just a great positive environment for everybody.
Braden, Coach Harrison told me that he's been on you for a few years. So he said, it's about time I got this guy in a uniform that I'm coaching. He said it's about time. So I guess it was pretty obvious to why you came here. It's Coach Harrison's been hounding you for a couple of years.
Yeah, for sure. So we first reached out to me in November of 2020, and he was trying to get me over there at Bethel, but I was like, nah, like I want to play my year at junior college because, you know, I don't know. I want to take the opportunity of it. So I was like, I'm going to stay this year.
You got the COVID-19 pandemic stuff, right?
Yeah.
That would have been in the thick of things. And being out in Cali, right? So
yeah,
where you don't know if you're going to play ball or not, right?
Yeah, so during that spring, we just had practice. And ever since day one, like Coach Harrison, you know, he was on me, like he said, just showing love. And he took a chance on me, like, 2 years before last, I didn't play. I tore my ACL. Then the year after that, I just didn't play. I was just practicing. So to know a coach like really wants you and is telling you like you'll fit in our defense. It's like then I take the opportunity, you know, I'm grateful for it. Then I get here and then I see the defense, I'm like, wow, like they weren't kidding. Like the defense, I love it. Like the eat the captain defense is it's easy.
Just love the way that's termed, by the way, eat the captain defense.
Yeah, so you know, I appreciate them, appreciate him and Coach Kemp. So yeah, I came a long way. So
I think it's great. So you have, you know, Coach Kemp coaching you and how crazy he is, and you have Coach Harrison coaching the offensive lineman. So I just think it's kind of funny how you have those two dynamics. So Coach Harrison, whenever I saw him, when I saw you guys going through the chute, I was like, man, Coach Harrison, oh, who's got the lowest pad? Oh, that boy, red cord, good job. I'm like, look at this dude, like full of positive energy, and then Kemp just screaming his head off the entire time. I mean, let's be real. That's how it works.
No, yeah, Coach Kemp is cool.
I'm gonna call him out again because he's gonna come after me next time I see him on Saturday. He goes, I hear you've been talking smack.
Then we got Coach Abbott, our DB coach.
Yeah,
he's helped us. He helped the DBs a lot. Like coming from Butler Junior College and other universities, he has a lot of just experience, and it's, you know, listening to him and what he has to say, because he's had NFL guys before. So, you know, taking day by day and just trusting his word and just, you know, learning, being coachable.
So your mom's in the house here at Chicken Max.
Yeah.
So she just surprised you that you knew this was happening?
No,
yeah.
Okay. She came in on Tuesday for the homecoming game. She comes a few days, spent some time with me.
Is this the first time that she's been here to catch a game for you?
No, the last game she was at Bethel.
Oh, okay. I mean, competitive ball game, and really was great, so that was awesome.
Yeah, the rain was tripping her out because, you know, her and my dad came too, so they just had to sit in the rain. But, yeah, this is her second time out here, you know. She likes it here, though.
Okay.
She likes it.
And you got a little dog here, too. For that matter.
Riley.
I was like, there's a dog in the house. Like, who's this person? Oh, by the way, I'm Brayden's mom. I was like, oh, hey, nice to meet you. So to have that type of support, having her out here as well as your dad, I mean, that's got to be a cool thing.
Nah, yeah, I appreciate them both. Without them, I'm not here, you know.
For sure. Noah, offensive line units here. So I've been talking a big game about the offensive line, man. And it's not just on the field. I'm talking about personality. Please tell me that the offensive line has the best personality on this team.
These guys are the best. I mean, we recruited some of the best freshmen that I've ever played with. I mean, you know, they're just so odd. They came in, you know, they're quiet at first. Everyone is. I was quiet. But, like, they opened up so fast, and all of them, like, they improved incredibly quickly. Yeah. All of them are just – it's like they're built for this offense. Like they were almost chosen for it. But, I mean – the whole unit, the guys that stayed from last year after a tough, you know, the whole year was just a bad year. There's no other way to put it. But they're all here with us now, and the guys who stayed, you know, I really appreciate that because, I mean, they just wanted to build something good. And I love the O-line, especially, I mean, oh, my God, they're all they all have their own personalities, but they're all just a bunch of –
getting somewhere.
Yeah, they're all just a bunch of headbutting, tough, you know, a lot of eating, but
yeah, of course. You got Kep right here, right? I mean, Kep's just chilling. Yeah. He's got some great hair, man. Like, man, that's offensive line hair. That's
I've never seen better mullets than the freshmen that have came in this year. I mean, him, Jake Schmitty isn't here, but oh my gosh, the flow on those guys is crazy.
All the mullets.
I mean, you know, every once in a while I just shave all my hair off because, you know, I guess I'm not that smart, but those guys, oh my God, they came in with some mullets from Oklahoma, straight from Oklahoma, and I was like, that's impressive. I mean, Chase is from Hutch, but still impressive.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, you got a Hutch guy. There's some Kansas kids on here, so I appreciate that whenever you get some Kansas kids. And being from Hutch, of course, you got to note that too, being a former Sawhawk. So he knows a thing or two about flex bone, I suppose, because they ran that a time or two there in Hutchinson and still are running the same thing. So, and then the facial hair too is on point too.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just saying, man, this group. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Personality-wise, are you the funniest of the group or
definitely
no?
not. No way.
He's not even claiming that.
Not even close, man.
Who is?
I don't know. I mean,
I'm putting you on the spot, I know.
You gotta think about your type of comedy for one. You know.
Ooh, I mean, that's a good point, too, because there are different types.
We got the silent funny types, like, you know, Ricky, he's ineligible this year. He just had a credit hour issue, but he's so funny. I mean, he's the silent funny type, like a
Rick
Three
is
Stooges
funny.
kind of thing. And then you got kids that are just like, you know, I mean, even Steven, you know, my guard that plays right next to me, he's hilarious. Just a fun guy. All of them are great to be around, though. I mean, none of them, it's like, you know, it's such good team chemistry. I don't have any problems with any of these guys. You know, they don't have any problems with each other. We're just out there to have a good time, play football. I mean, that's what we're here for. So.
Absolutely. Braden, are you the class clown of the defensive back unit, or no?
I wouldn't say I am, but sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes I'll
I mean, Davon's the one who's on Twitter all the time.
Yeah,
and
he
like
is.
that dude always has opinions on stuff.
Yeah. Sometimes I might say a comment and it'll catch them off guard. They'll be like, "What?" Like, but no, you know, I'm not the funny. I wouldn't say I'm the funniest, but it is a tight knit group. You know, once we're all together, it's so fun. Like, we were at Coach Abbott's house and we were just busting jokes and stuff, and it was a good time. You know, you need that back there. You need that.
When you're not playing football and doing schoolwork, what are you doing? 2K?
Nah, I don't really play the video game.
Oh, okay.
I don't play the video game because.
What do you do? Just
Nah,
relax, sit in your thoughts. Like that's
Yeah.
a dangerous game. That's like day get naps probably good.
Yeah, or I'll just hang out with my friends, like when I'm back home. But here, with my dog, I really just be chilling. When I play the game, my eyes start hurting. They start to burn.
Okay, that's fair. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. I didn't know if you were, you know, everyone's big in the video games, so maybe Noah's not. Maybe Noah's just chilling. Maybe fishing or something, bowling.
That's fun.
Fishing. I mean, I grew up in with so many kids. My family, you know, Catholics, so we're kind of crazy, you know.
Board games, playing pitch.
Exactly. I mean, we were like, oh, I love Stratego.
I mean, that's what we do. I mean,
it got me saying like, you guys want to play Risk? And kids are like, what is Risk?
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
For real?
Risk?
Yes.
No, I don't know what that is.
Oh, Braden.
It's just a strategy game.
It's a board game.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Never played a board game before?
Yeah, I've played a board game before.
Fair enough.
No, I mean, I'm from a.
It's a little different. As long as you're not saying Monopoly, you know, we're in good shape. You're playing Monopoly, you lose friends. I'm just saying.
Yeah, we're not allowed to play Monopoly.
Yeah,
in my
you're
house. Too
not.
many fights.
Yeah, of course you can't. There's always fights with Monopoly. You can't.
I mean, you know, from so many kids in that household, we were also all of us are homeschooled up until about middle school. We go to school. I mean, that's actually how I'm really here is because I was homeschooled up until about the 7th grade, and then you know I was playing with the St. Thomas, the Junior Crusaders, and my dad. You know, we loved the kids and the camaraderie of those kids so much. We met so many great people that they eventually told me, hey, you have to go to school or you're not allowed to play with the team, which is fair. And, you know, I went to St. Thomas. Then I went to Capon, and, you know, I ended up here, and, you know, it all works out. It really does. But, yeah, my family's not very traditional in the sense of, like, video games. We haven't had a TV in about – we just got one a year ago.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean –
think about that for a moment.
Watching the grass grow and stuff.
Oh, that's crazy.
You say, what do? I guess talk and just be with each other, which is a good thing because nowadays there's so many screens. I got to turn my screens off a lot because it's like, look, you got to be in the moment a lot of times. I would take a lot of pictures, and maybe that drives my wife crazy, but it's like I'm not going to take pictures. I want to be in the moment with you, so it's a little different. Well, no board games, or nothing?
I mean, if you have that many people in the house, you always have something going on.
Okay.
There's always
so what do you do? So what do you do now then when you're not playing football in school?
Driving kids to practices now. I mean, you know.
So he's the chauffeur. He's the Uber.
Yeah. The trick to having a lot of kids, from my parents' point of view, is just have enough to where they can drive the other kids to practice, and it really does work because you know.
Good strategy. Actually.
Yeah. I'm just there to take everybody to practice once I get out practice. I mean, tonight, you know, I got this, so I'm covered. But normally it's me. You know, my sister who just went to college at Tulsa University, and you know she's gone. So I was like, oh, thanks, Maggie. Now I got everybody else, but everybody plays sports in my house, and they're all busy, and there's never a dull moment. Never a dull moment.
Well, you were able to catch a certain game, Holy War, between Capon and Carroll. We won't dive into the results. We'll just skim up by that. But the Riverfront Stadium, you know, having a football game there, that's really cool. So you have a chance to go catch stuff like that, which is great. Have you shown like the guys from out of town the hot spots in Wichita yet? Have you done that?
I mean,
Mr. Uber driver, I'm assuming you know where everything is.
I mean, I'm not that fun either. I like to go to the lame places
not that fun.
like
come on.
I was like, guys, you ever heard of the arcade downtown? I'm like, what is that? And I was like, it's old retro video games.
Which
like,
that is
what?
right up my alley. I'm just saying, I've been there multiple times. Right
That'd
up my
be
alley.
cool.
Like that. I mean, I worked at Old Chicago for a while, and
Okay.
I mean, I might work there again this summer, so I got discounts for guys. And being part of the lineman group, they're like,
Oh, that's
discounted food.
That's not good.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
maybe your guy at Old Chicago's not going to hire you back now. He knows that.
my
So
boss is like, hey, can you stop bringing those guys to clean out everything we have?
I mean, it's fair. So we have a guy who sits in his thoughts and a guy who doesn't watch TV. This is very, very refreshing. I gotta say, this is just very refreshing. So I'm glad, because nowadays everyone's buried in screens and video games, and that's not Noah
Yeah.
Redcorn. That's not Braden Gordon. So
No time for it.
it's incredible. That's great. I'm just, like I said, I'm just stunned. Usually it's Fortnite 24/7. And,
I
that's
still
type of
play
thing.
sometimes. Still play sometimes.
Okay, fair
Get on
enough.
with the boys sometimes,
Yeah. Let them know what's
fun.
up. Yeah, when you hop on, they probably go, oh, no, here we go. This guy's going to hop on and
Oh, yeah.
Dominate us.
I'm not good.
oh,
not good at games.
So they don't want to pick you up. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I'm not good at games.
It's one of those, I guess we'll just spend some time with Braden. We'll feel sorry for the guy. And we all had those people. Come on. Like
Yeah.
back in my day, that was the case. It was, yeah, we'll play with you, but in all reality, we know, man, our kill-to-death ratio is just going to go way down.
They got to revive me a lot.
Yeah, of course. I'm not surprised. So I'm assuming you're a Chiefs fan. So this has been like the number one topic on the show. NFL. Chiefs fan?
Yeah. A
Okay.
little bit.
Take it as a little bit.
I mean, I don't keep up with a lot of football outside of our football, which
Okay.
is weird. I just don't really watch a lot of football besides our football.
I guess a guy who doesn't doesn't grow up watching TV. I guess this really checks out, I guess.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, for you,
I'm a Steeler fan.
I'm sorry.
I'm a Steeler fan.
I know, I'm sorry. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
They're going to be they're going to get the number one overall draft pick, and then we're going to go C.J. Stroud. They already got their quarterback. It's Kenny Pickett, baby. That's a no. He's
I don't
not
know what we
Kenny.
need. What do we need?
Everything. An offensive line.
Maybe some more receivers. We got Pickens, Dante Johnson.
Yeah.
Young
Yeah,
Ben
maybe some
Roethlisberger.
O-line.
Say O-line's got to be the number one thing. Najee Harris can just
Yeah.
run straight in the offensive lineman because they're not blocking anyone, just the way it is.
For sure.
Okay, fair enough. Steelers guy. Is there a guy in the NFL that you watch you try to emulate?
DJ Reed from the Jets.
Okay.
Just because I've known him since 3rd grade. So he's like a big brother,
Okay.
kind of like cousin, but just like a role model for me.
Okay.
So he's only like 5'9", 5'10", 190 pounds. He's one of the best corners in the league right now.
I like it. It's a great one. I would
Yeah.
ask you that, but if you don't watch,
You know, we got Ben Powers is from you know, here. I mean, he plays
Baltimore.
for the Ravens now.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not a Ravens. My dad's a Steelers fan too, so it's tough to see him go to the Ravens. But other than that, it was like, oh my God, that dude's in the NFL, and I got to see him.
Yeah,
You know,
well, I
around,
mean, you got Brees
so.
Hall in the NFL
Yeah.
now playing for the Jets,
Yep.
and he just got done having a monster game last week against the Dolphins. He had a great game against Miami. I think that's one of the coolest things, too, seeing Kansas kids go on and do big-time stuff like that. So I'm not surprised you would pick Powers in Baltimore.
I mean, just a great example.
Yeah, of
Him
course.
and, there's like Nick Lowe. He's playing for Louisiana somewhere at D1 school, but he graduated from Cape, and it took him a while to get around to a D1. He was just looking, but I mean, that's another kid. I wrestled, with him, against him, and played football with him. He's just massive, 6'4", 6'3", 280 pounds. But those guys, you just look up to them because they're always so nice to underclassmen, but they were still just killers on the field.
Sure.
I mean,
Without question. All right. Well, I would continue. I have another 18,000 questions, but I think we need to just call it good right here and now. You guys were terrific. Noah, thank you so much. Braden, thank you so much. Best of luck to you this Saturday. All right, Braden Gordon, junior defensive back, transfer from Bakersfield Community College. Oh, you guys wave when I point at you. It's just the greatest thing ever. I can't remember who did it the first time. This guy keeps waving. I think it might have been Davon. Man, I could be wrong. Anyways, Noah Redcorn, sophomore, offensive lineman from Cape and right here in Wichita. These two guys will be on the field this Saturday at Adair Austin Stadium. It is Friends in Sterling, 1 o'clock kickoff. Would love to see you out there for homecoming. Well, that does it for our coaches show here at Chicken Max. Just want to give you a reminder, Chicken Max, locally owned and hatched right here in Wichita, known for their legendary sandwiches, taking the chicken sandwich to the max. Their smoked chicken is smoked in almond wood every day, several times a day, in each location, giving it a fresh, unique flavor. Savory sides like mac and cheese, mashed potatoes and gravy, potato salad, coleslaw, and much more. Club salads and power bowls with their smoked chicken for a healthy choice, which, let's be real, no offensive lineman is going to choose that. Several sauces unique to Chicken Max. 3 locations in Wichita. We are at the Weston Maple location, 325 Southwest Street, every single Thursday at 5:30. Coming out, be a part of the show, wave, whatever you want to do. We're going to be out here regardless. So that does it for us here today. Thank you so much for watching, and have yourself a wonderful day. Talons up.